Number one is we start pushing people away. Other people, we push them away because we've been hurt by a narcissist. We don't want to get hurt again. And so we start pushing others away. We're afraid. This could be a narcissist now. The reason I say that, if there is somebody in your life, a loved one, and you notice that they are just excessively pushing others out of their life, that could be a sign that they are being victimized by a narcissist. It's kind of a blind spot because, people are always pushing others away that hurt them, but this is kind of excessive. So now we need to pay close attention. And by the way, you may want to share this video with your friends, family, so they know what to look out for in the lives of others and in your life. So we've got 6 indications. The people are really hurting because there is a narcissist putting them through intense stress. Number one, pushing others away. That is to say, they're removing the source, or the potential source, let me phrase it that way. The potential source of pain, which is others. The thing about a narcissist that hurts you, it's always another guy, right? Okay, narcissists hurt themselves, but I'm assuming you're not a narcissist. So it has to be somebody else by default, obviously. So what do? You don't always know who the narcissist is because the narcissist is so good at love bombing and love bonding that you don't know who is a real friend and who is just taking advantage of you. And the only solution seems to be, man, I got to get everybody out of my life, or I'm not sure who is or who is not love bombing me with nefarious intentions. So I'm going to be over vigilant in pushing other people out of my life. Yeah, that's an indicator. And what it's saying is, I got this narcissist, and he or she is controlling my life, and I'm afraid of losing even more control, so I got to take back the control. So I'm going to do that by pushing others away. There, I'm in control. But we also have this problem of not having people in our life that we need to have in our lives. We are kind of paranoid. And just because we don't know, we've been burned so many times, we don't know who is and who is not the narcissist. Again, they're really good at that love bombing. So we have this onslaught, this incursion of our personal boundaries being breached by a narcissist. And we don't want that to happen again. And we're in that situation maybe at this very moment. And it hurts. And we don't like the hurt, so we're watching out. Man, I need to make sure this doesn't happen again. Now, to me, I'm in my 70s, autodidactic. I'm self-taught. My experience is that this signals a need for mindfulness. That is to say that we are surrounded by this kind of stress. We're going to deal with that a little bit later in a moment, but we are surrounded by the stress. Sometimes we need to push others away so we can be alone with our thoughts. Mindfulness. That is to say, just think things through. Gather our thoughts. Now, number 2 is also distancing, but it's doing the opposite. This time it's not that we're pushing others away, but we are pulling away. That is to say, we are withdrawing from others. So if you see somebody who is excessively, overly withdrawing from other people, stop and ask yourself, maybe could it be? Is this person reacting to the pressure, the stress of a narcissist or narcissist plural in their life? Why do we do that? Why do we withdraw from other people? Well, number 1 in my thinking is we do it to avoid, again, the potential pain. I've noticed when I'm not around people, people don't hurt me. At least I'm not aware of it. Now, they may be hurting me by a smear campaign or talking behind my back, but to my face, they're not taking advantage of me. Okay, I don't like being taken advantage of, so what do? I get away from the source of the pain. People. And I'm assuming these people could possibly be narcissists. So if you see someone doing that, that's a heads up. So you remember the first time, you probably don't, but the first time you ever touched a hot iron, what was your reaction? To withdraw, to get away from the source of the pain, or maybe you were stung by a bee or a wasp. Your first reaction was to get out of there. You pushed them away by swatting at them, and you pulled away by running from the source of the pain. Natural response. A narcissist is kind of like a wasp. Good analogy. You want to swat them away once you realize the pain is there, and you want to run away once you realize the pain is there. So it's a protective measure to mitigate the hurt, to mitigate the pain. What is the signal? Well, as I was thinking about it, I said this signals a need for people who are victims of narcissists, who have been abused by a narcissist. They need understanding from other people. You know, if you are pulling away from others, it's not that somebody needs to breach your boundaries, reaching in and trying to let you know they understand when really they're just trying to control you. But just so you know the people understand, there is a need for understanding. So if you see somebody withdrawing from others, maybe one of the things they need is for you to understand they're having an experience with pain caused by narcissists. Number 3, people who become overly apologetic. Do you know people like that? I can actually name some people. They are overly apologetic, and okay, I know some people, I know myself, because I have done this. Why? Well, having been abused by narcissists, I'm blaming myself, because I associate the pain inflicted by others to be a punishment. And if I am, I'm thinking like a little kid. And if I'm being punished, well, I must have done something wrong. So I need to apologize. If I apologize, that does away with the wrong, and so it does away with punishment. So the way I'm going to deal with this pain is I'm going to be apologetic. But in reality, I'm experiencing guilt. I'm experiencing a fear of criticism. I'm experiencing immense self-doubt. And none of it, or very little of it, is actually deserved. It's the abuse of a narcissist that I'm not picking up on. So what am I doing? What are people doing when they do this? We are begging for acceptance, which, by the way, is typically not a good thing to do. Because people love you to beg from them. It gives them a higher status than the neurotypical hive mind. Let's just say it. That climbing, that clamoring to get to the top of the social hierarchy, trying to be the person who is controlling all others, the alpha. They like that. They want you to beg for their acceptance. So what's going to happen is they're going to keep it coming. They're going to keep on the pressure. They're going to keep the pain going up. His name was Sisyphus. Greek mythology. He had a problem that he would boost his ego by hurting other people. Classic narcissist, right? So in Greek mythology, the gods decided they were going to punish him by forcing him to push a boulder up a hill. And as soon as it got to the hill, it would roll back down and he would have to push it back up. And this would occur over and over and over again. So we call this the Sisyphean cycle. You never get to the top. That's what the narcissist is putting you through. So you try to be apologetic and you try to amend offenses where there's no mending needed because there was no offense. It's just the narcissist being a jerk. And so you don't accomplish anything. Instead, you accomplish the negative. The narcissist just pours it rather back on pushes the boulder back down the hill. Loves to see you beg for acceptance over and over and over again. We're apologetic when we don't need. Now, if you need to be apologetic, okay, apologize. But most of the time, many of the time, when the source is a narcissist, no apology needed, no apology required, except from the narcissist. He or she, they're the ones who should be apologizing to you. Is that going to happen? Nope, not going to happen. Fat chance. Well, what does this signal? In my mind, it signals that we're experiencing a lack of self-confidence imposed upon us by the narcissist, and this is a form of gaslighting. They're making us feel something that is not real, something critical, something bad about ourselves that is not true, so they can control us. Number 4, and this is akin to being apologetic, is, people-pleasing, overly people-pleasing. Yeah, I know people that do that. I've done it myself. You're trying to please people for pretty much the same reason as trying to be apologetic. We're trying to undermine and avoid rejection. So the narcissist will, the trauma bonding thing where they will love bomb us and then they will reject us. So we want the love, so we run back to them and they love us and then they reject us. Again, it's the Sisyphean cycle. Reject, we run back, and then they love us and we are satisfied, and they reject us, and it just keeps going in a cycle. So we're trying to undermine that rejection by pleasing the narcissist and others, because you never know. Does that work? No, it doesn't. Because just like being apologetic, people, particularly narcissists, love to put us in that position where we're constantly trying to please them. And they say, hey, I've got this trick where I can keep this guy on the hook, constantly trying to please me by love bombing him and pushing him away. Over and over and over and over again. Why are we people pleasing? Why are we doing this overtly? It is because, again, my opinion, it is because we are expecting reciprocation. I'm going to be kind and pleasing to this person, and he or she will be kind and pleasing to me. That's what we expect. But it doesn't work that way. Well, sometimes it does, but typically it doesn't work that way. With a narcissist, it never works that way. I mean, they will reciprocate the people-pleasing for a short while just to keep you in their trauma bond, just to keep you in their snare. And that's the end of it. Now, we need to keep in mind that this signals a need for respect from other people. So we're trying to please them, hoping they will respect us, hoping they won't be the next narcissist, and we may not even know what a narcissist is at that point. But we're just constantly trying to get them to like us by people-pleasing. And what happens is the opposite. They disrespect us because they see us as being weak. Number 5 is vigilant or being over-vigilant. That is to say, we are in the state of full alert all the time. Here is a caveman. Let's go back in history or prehistory. Here's a caveman. He's a hunter-gatherer, and he's out hunting for, something to eat. A deer, a squirrel. I don't know what they hunted back then. Buffalo, maybe. And there's a lion, or maybe a mountain lion, on the loose, and he sees it afar. Now, he has experienced mountain lions before. He's had friends, family members who have been mauled, eaten alive by mountain lions, and it is a ugly, ugly, horrible end to one's existence. So what happens is this hormone called cortisol kicks in, and it tells him you need to fight the lion, or you need to flee the lion, fight or flight. He knows he can't fight the lion, so he flees. He takes off. Now he's out of sight of the lion, the danger is gone, and what happens? The cortisol, well, it's no longer needed anywhere near in that amount. So he's back and calm again. Now, what happens when we're vigilant to a fault is we always see ourselves surrounded by mountain lions because the narcissist has put us in that position. Perpetual real life abuse. And it's not necessarily imaginary. It's not that we think there is this danger out there because we're paranoid. There really is a danger. You know, the narcissist has made sure that we understand that he or she can hurt us, and they can. So the danger is very real. But we're being vigilant, maybe to a fault. We're seeing a mountain lion behind every bush because the narcissist has convinced us that it's real because it is real, but the narcissist is not even there. Now, what happens when cortisol is released in our bodies and it doesn't subside, it just stays there, constantly in a state of alert? Well, I looked this up at Mayo Clinic, and here's what happens. I'm going to read this off very quickly. Number 1, anxiety. Number 2, depression, then digestive problems, headaches, muscle tension and pain, heart disease, heart attack, high blood pressure, sleep problems, weight gain, problems with memory and focus, and we could add autoimmune disorder. So when we're talking about hurting or pain caused by narcissists, this is biological, physiological. It is very real, not just emotional, even though emotional pain is very real. It signals a need that we need to be accepted by others. So when we push others away, that was number 1. Remember we said there's a need for mindfulness where we, self-medicate in our minds, not with substance abuse. Then we talked about a need for understanding from others. And now we're talking about a need for acceptance from others, not just understanding that they would accept us as we are. Number 6 is avoidance through not making eye contact. Now, those of us who are autistic, eye contact is very cumbersome, it's difficult, it's challenging. We just don't like to do it, so we don't. But neurotypical people typically always make eye contact. It is just normal, it's natural, it is a way of communicating non-verbally, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when you are being abused by a narcissist, and this is something to watch out for your friends and family, you notice they're not making eye contact as much as they normally would, maybe not at all. This is a sign of non-engagement. It is an indicator that they have been controlled or are being controlled by narcissists, and they are concerned, worried, maybe even fearful of being controlled because they know that narcissistic stare is a form of control, or it is an indicator that the narcissist is seeking to control, to dominate, so that he or she can boost their ego, get that supply out of you. They're trying to protect themselves from further hurt. And eye contact tells them they're going to be hurt, so they don't do it. Watch out for that when you're working with friends, family, and other people. So, what does this do? Well, it signals that there is an emotional distance, as we talked about in number 1 and number 2. It is a signal for those other signals that we need to watch out. When you have a friend, family who just isn't making eye contact with you, stop and think. Could it be that this person is being abused by someone, by a narcissist? And if you find yourself reluctant to make eye contact, self-reflect. Ask yourself, is this an indicator that, a subliminal indicator that the narcissist is really hurting me, putting me under stress.